Are you an Amazon seller that's new to running Amazon PPC and you're not sure exactly how to set up your budgets to maximize sales and reduce risk so that you don't have to worry about overspending? Well, today I can show you exactly how to do that. Like I said, this is for Amazon sellers that have started using Amazon PPC, but maybe just have a couple questions as far as like how to properly allocate that spend. This is applicable to both brand new sellers and existing sellers. It includes my own thoughts and opinions, and then it also includes a couple little tips about how you can handle big sales holidays like Prime Day, which just so happens to be today. So go ahead and drop any comments in the comment section if you have any questions at all about how to set up budgets. Even if you have a specific example that you want me to go ahead and take a look at, I respond to every comment so I can answer your questions. And if you like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. We produce a ton of content, so if you want to hear more, go ahead and subscribe as well. And with that, let's get started. So how do you set budgets? Why is it important to set budgets well? What are my recommendations on budgets? I'll let you know. So let's just basic campaign. So ship quick again. SP, let's say we're doing an automatic campaign. Two real schools of thought on this. If you're running ads already and you have a general idea of what your ACoS is, figure out like what would be an acceptable tacos. Same thing, it's all digital marketing is a little bit like gambling, and that you put it out there and expect something in return. You're really working with statistics. So similar to gambling, like let's say you haven't done a sponsored brand campaign yet. You want to set that up. You're spending right now $1,000 a month in ads for $3,000 back, 33% ACoS, and you make like $10,000 of sales a month. So your tacos, your total advertising cost of sale, so your ad spend as a function or as compared to your like top line sales, let's say that's at 10%, and you're comfortable with 15%. That means you have roughly a $500 a month budget that you'd be prepared to take roughly, and hopefully it would generate more sales and you wouldn't have to worry about your tacos getting that high. But with all these things, it's a little bit a case of that's money that you have to be prepared to lose. So view it roughly in that sense. Let's say you check back, like for testing, just think about like what I like to leave things alone for 7 days after I make them, because there's always a 2 to 3 day sales lag. So for me, I prefer to do it in sort of a, like if I'm spending a lot of money and I don't know how it's going to perform, $50 budget, nice and easy. And then if I check back in 7 days, if we've spent $350 on an account that is doing a lot of spend and sales, that can be forgiven just by way of testing. And now you know that you don't want to run that. If it was at 200 and I had set my bids, foolishly, and that's 1400, maybe a little bit harder to explain. So it's all sort of a factor of your own risk tolerance. But an easy way to think about it is let it run for 7 days, check back. If it spent the whole day's budget, like if you were out $350, I mean, that sucks, but hopefully it wouldn't be the end of the world for your brand. So $50 nice testing budget. It allows you to collect enough clicks and get an idea. If you want to do it super frugally, like you're really not sure, automatic, like you're just starting ads, automatic $20 budget, in 7 days, that's $140, roughly enough to, unless you're selling like a $500 product, that's probably going to be enough to just barely test. Anything less than $20 a day, you're not really going to get what you need. You're not really going to get what you want. You just won't have enough data to work with. And then if you set that $20 budget and you check and you're at like a 15% ACoS after 2 days, and you've spent $19 both days, then that'd be a pretty easy decision to lift that up. So either 20 or 50, it's right there. It's easy to determine. The best scenario you can get is like, so this had spent $4,900 over its lifetime, and our daily budget is at $100. It ran for a lot longer than 49 days. So this was way beyond what our actual budget is. And the reason why you want to leave them wide open is in the event, so it goes back to like, if you have your bid strategy really well, like which keywords you're bidding on, you have it all dialed in, I like to leave it wide open. Because then if you get a random spike in traffic, or like if one of your opponents falls off, and then all of a sudden you're getting way cheaper clicks way more frequently for a really important keyword, you want that to be able to ride out. Like you want that to continue to spend. Like you don't want to hamper yourself. So speaking of which, I don't know if you saw earlier, but there's a little box by the budget that says like you've got these campaigns that are getting close to being out of budget. So you can either use that, or remember that Amazon is sort of based out of Pacific time. So if you live in the East Coast, you're 3 hours ahead. So at roughly like 8 p.m., nope, it would be like 1 a.m. your time. You're getting close to the end of the day on Pacific time. So if you check back then, you'll get a lot of like little alerts here, and in the active status, that'll say status like you're out of budget. If you check back on those, like if you have a campaign that's at 18% ACOS, if you do a late day check and you notice that you're hitting the budget consistently, just go ahead and up that. I've seen that quite a lot with some of these accounts where you're hitting the budget and you're losing out on sales that are on profitable campaigns. So the best scenario is to have your bid strategy perfect and to leave your campaign budgets wide open. So that's what I like to do. If you're confident in what you're doing and you feel like you've mined a lot of really good keywords, your automatic campaign enhanced auto targeting bids are all dialed in nice. You can leave it wide open, and then if you ever get spikes in traffic, you get to take the full advantage of that without being hindered by these arbitrary budget limits you set. So let's say though that you're not really worried about these daily budgets. You're a bigger brand, or let's say you work for a brand, and they are like, let's say $5,000 a month of marketing spend. So there are two ways that you can go about managing this. But you can go to your actual portfolio and set a recurring monthly, like if you just wanted to do it for your entire account, you could put, like let's say you sell one product or like a couple of products that are all really similar, you could put them all in one portfolio and then just set a monthly budget cap of 5,000, and then there you go, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it. Once it hits the 5,000, it'll cut the spend, so you never have to like justify like, oh sorry, I know you said 5,000 but we ended up spending this much. Sets a perfectly hard cap. The better way to do that, instead of just setting the portfolio wide cap, is like, let's say you're still beholden to that same 5,000, and you have, let's go back to Ship Quick. Is it over here? Let's hope so. So let's say, just for the sake of the video, that we're looking at, this is the performance of like these last three are like the most recent 3 months. So you've got 33, 33, 18. So let's say that you want to keep that, they're being insistent that it's like 25. What you would do is like halfway through, the easiest way to do this is like on the 16th, or like a day past the halfway point of whatever the month you're at, you can acclimate to the whatever sales change. Like if you only have to go down like a little bit at the halfway point of the month, you could just go ahead and pause. You can pace some of these things out. So like this spends, let's say $1,000 a month. Just doing the head math of like, okay, I can keep this, I can keep that. Keep your highest performing campaigns, and then just pause, your really high ACOS campaigns, maybe some of the things you're testing. And then, in a week at 3/4 of the month, or like, if let's say you're at 17, and you're pacing to hit 33, if you pause a bunch of campaigns in a week's time, if you're still close to 25, you might have to pause everything right away. But, at a third of the month, you could even go back and say like, if we're pacing to blow way past it, we can just pause the highest ACOS campaigns 10 days in. Just doing a little bit of head math and you can even use Excel for this, but I've got this spending this quickly. I'm going to pause all these high ACOS ones and then just let these ones spend out. Very easy way to do it. And then if you really want the easiest way to control your spend and really make sure that you're like doing the right thing, just keep a performance and an automatic campaign on. That's if you're really, really budget beholden and you really, really want to be efficient with the rest of the spend that you have, just your exact match and your automatic. Just let those run, and then after the month ends and you have more budget to play with, just turn everything back on. That's why I say on and off and not like messing with your bids. You still can do that, and that's helpful at the same time. But, you know, budgets can be very strict if you're managing to them. So just pause the campaigns. That way, you know, they're not just going to keep spending, or like that traffic is going to go to other keywords. It's an easy way to handle it, and it's the best way to do it if you're really having to stick to certain limitations. Last thing I wanted to touch on while I'm on this video about budgets is Prime Day is coming up. So let's say you want to figure out like what to do about Prime Day budgets. If you're doing it the best way and you have the budgets wide open, that should handle a spike in just recent peak, just from a sales holiday, and you should be able to take advantage of that. If you're not and you're still hitting the budgets, I would just go ahead, if it's an important sales day for you, I would just go ahead and open the budgets wide open. I would plot CPCs on a line. Then look at date range, just do like last 30. And then if this CPC line, so like let's say it's the day of Prime Day, you're probably gonna be at your computer checking things. So I would just go into the advertising, open up your budgets for all your campaigns, make sure that they can spend through, and then look at the CPC line. Like if this went up from like 170 to 380, like let's say there's some competitor that's just going crazy, you might say, okay, those sales would be nice, but I'm not willing to pay double for it. Remember, sales is going to be lagged. So your ACoS is going to look high on the day you're looking at it. Like if you're looking at today's numbers, they're always going to be worse. It's always going to taper off at the end. Your ACoS is always going to go up because there's sales lag. So taking into account the fact that you can't get an accurate ACoS figure, you can look at the CPCs. And if those start going up, if you were to just look at spend would be up because there's more people clicking. But if you look at CPCs, you can pretty quickly identify like how much competition is there that I'm facing. And then if CPCs are going straight up, all you have to do is just either drop the budgets back down, or like I said, just pause everything but your automatic and your performance, and just let that run out. So there you have it, everyone. That's how you should go about setting Amazon budgets. Hopefully this taught you a thing or two about how you can allocate your spend, how to do it properly, and how to do it in a way that you can scale your spend, you can control your losses, and you can start dominating Amazon PPC. If you have any questions at all, please drop those in the comment section. I respond to everything. So if you have a question, you'll get it answered. If you want to see more content like this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and press the little notification bell so that you know when we post more stuff. And if this video went maybe a little bit over your head, go ahead and click the link right here for our Intro to Amazon PPC video. I'll show you everything you need to get started. Even for a total noob seller, you'll be able to get started right away making Amazon PPC sales and starting to understand this stuff. And with that, happy optimizing, everyone.